Shalom! My mom created a fun way for us to learn the most important rules of life. Yah's command.
With Yah's Big Ten Commands, we get to see His will's best for us.
Keep Yah first.
No graven images.
Don't take Yah's name in vain.
Remember Shabbat and keep it holy.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Mr. and Mrs., don't cheat.
Don't steal.
Don't tell lies.
Don't covet.
This changes everything. Get your set of Yah's Big Ten Commands at Big Ten Designs today.
To the heavenlies. Why don't I just walk away? Everyone needs a little space. Moving so fast into the future. It's hard to bear. Someone is raging too high. It's all consuming. Above all the world, the wind and seas, you reach for me and lead me to the hiding place. Come away and rest. Meditate, reset. 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 Present with the Most High is my relief. Showing your strength is perfect even when I'm weak. Your word sustains me. I can suffer long. Nothing can change me or take away my love of y'all. Into the future, leading answers so bad. It's hard to bear. Someone is raging too high.
Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land.
Identity. We are bombarded by images of who we think we are every day of our lives. But some people don't think. They know. How about you? I didn't know my true identity, culture, heritage, or roots. As a Christian, I was told the only thing that mattered was my identity was found in Christ. But what about the Asian, Arab, Coptic, or European believer, do they know their identity? Does it matter to them? How about you? This is who they tell us we are. This is what we know. But is it the truth? Take a journey with me as I share my story of faith and identity and discover why both life in the Savior and identity matters. Why our past, present, and future hinges on the knowledge of our true identity. Why all believers in the Messiah must wake up before it's too late. As the world gets darker, it is time for Yah's people to shine their light. Who you really are is one of the most important questions on earth. It's time you knew.
Israelite. 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 How to know your identity without losing your Savior.
Israelite! I believe in you. Tell me, do you believe in you? It's all consuming, but above the world, the wind and seas, you reach for me and lead me to the
Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Shalom, shalom to all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope y'all are doing well. I hope yesterday was a good Shabbat for you, and I know this is the last day of Sukkot. I believe that's how you say it. Feast of Tabernacles. All of you who got an opportunity to celebrate this year, all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. Y'all, we are still in the process of learning. We have gotten down really well with the Feast of Dedication and Passover, and we are continuously learning and growing when it comes to our feast days. So if you're not there yet, don't worry, you're not alone, okay? I'm right there with you. I'm in the process of learning. So all praises to the Most High for those of you who celebrated the Feast of Tabernacles and all those tents. I saw some pictures of some tents, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to see. But see, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I am the type of person that I gotta understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? In full measure. And so I also have to understand what the Father's intent was and for whom. So I'm in the process, and I appreciate, you know, our brothers and sisters who are, you know, just marching ahead when it comes to appreciating our culture and to embracing it. Is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I believe that's what Yahuwah wants for all of us. So all praises to the Most High for all of you. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you have not already done so. Put that thumbs up in the building. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Channel's growing, y'all. All praise to the Most High. We are just, you know, under 500 subscribers away from 14,000. We continue to grow. We should see a lot of growth in the coming weeks and coming months. So y'all continue to get those likes up. Continue to support the mission, and let's bring more folk up in here, right? So I want to give a shout out to my family here. So let me go ahead and do that really quickly, and then I got to give another special shout out. Grace and peace, Brother Timothy, as always, it's good to see you. Have this journey in the building. Peace and blessings to you as well. Got, what is this? Listen some. Okay, you got a paragraph there. I can't read. I'm just giving shout outs right now. Adrian and Yasharel, shalom, shalom. Lamara Johnson, peace and blessings to you. Good to see you. God bless. Green Chick in the house, grace and peace to you. Got Brother Damien in here, peace and blessings. Non-revisionist, peace and blessings to you as well. Derek Davis, shalom to you. Charles West in the building, peace and blessings as always. Brother Calvin in the building, peace and blessings, my brother. I hope you're doing well. Got my sis S. Dottie in the building, peace and blessings to you as always. Cody Cole 80, Cody Cole. All right. Last day of Sukkot. That's what's up. All right. Peace and blessings. Alyssa Fryer. Shalom. Shalom to you as well. Got Van P in the building. Peace and blessings. All right, fam. We got Phantom Warrior in here. Going to give you a quick shout out. Adrian Yashara and Rico Frost. Peace and blessings to all of you. So thanks so much again for coming in tonight. I also want to give a special shout out to my members. Okay. I want to give a special shout out to y'all. I've implemented a new program. Essentially, it is called Members Thursday. Y'all might have noticed it last week, where my members are getting access to my videos on Thursdays ahead of everybody else. It's just a small way of saying thank you to those of you who support me on a monthly basis. I'm also going to be extending that to my patrons. I'm trying to figure out how to work on the mechanics of that. But to my patrons and members, y'all be getting access on Thursdays ahead of time. I would say a good 8 hours, if not a full day. I'm not 100% sure just yet. It's a pilot program that I'm starting, but it's just my small token of appreciation for those of you who continuously support me every month financially to do this work. And I just want to tell you thank you. So this is just my way of saying that. So shout out to all my members and my patrons. I love y'all very much and appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of you who continuously give, those who give through Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, Super Chat, Super Sticker, and those who listen on the replay and give my super thanks. Thank you, because this work is absolutely that. It is a work, and I appreciate y'all for looking out. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and cut my music down because we got some things to talk about tonight. As y'all saw, the title is talking about churches, particularly that are being targeted by certain propaganda, okay? Certain propaganda is coming their way by a certain people group, and we are going to talk about that tonight. Now, exactly 1 month after the CK deletion, the Jewish state declared a ceasefire on the war in Gaza. Okay, so did y'all see that? October 10th. So CK, he passed on September 10th, and then on October 10th, the Jewish state declared a ceasefire on the war on Gaza. If you saw that, give me a 1 in the chat. All right. I just thought the timing was very interesting. Exactly 1 month. And especially in light of all the things that have been coming up and have been said. I've been keeping my ear on the streets. You know what I'm saying? I've been keeping, just because I don't talk about everything on here don't mean I ain't keeping my ear on the streets. You know, I've been hearing about all the little conflicting messages that were going between TPUSA, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I've been catching what Candace Owens has been saying on the side, and Nick Fuentes and all of them have been saying on the side. But you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with y'all. When it comes to one of ours, and you know, there was another commenter who said this, and I agree with him, that when it comes to one of ours, it's just, you know, case closed, right? Look at what happened to Trey King. All right. The first thing they told us that what happened with Trey King was, oh, he unalived himself behind a pickleball court. Now, which one of us play pickleball? I'm just trying to understand. Our folk do not play pickleball, but apparently, you know, he found that was an opportune time to unalive himself, according to their records, right? Anytime it's one of us, we doing that to ourselves, right? No investigation, no need to go in and dig up and hash up what all the conspiracies are around that. But when it comes to one of theirs, it's, oh no, we got to do all this extra investigation. And I'm not saying that there's not legitimacy to the arguments, the things that are being said about Erica Kirk, all of that stuff. I'm just saying that I'm going to spend more of my time focused on the harm that is coming to our community. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, listen, if you feel me, go ahead and throw up some thumbs up. Throw some thumbs up in the chat, because I feel like, why am I sitting here going through all of the nuances of the conspiracies on that side, but when it comes to one of our own, it's just case closed. You understand what I'm saying? No, let's find out what's happening to our people. Let's find out and let's dig a little deeper about what's going on with our brothers and our sisters, because I'm tired of us getting caught up in their stuff. But nevertheless, we know from Psalm 83 that these folk, they're experts in conspiracy, right? You understand what I'm saying? They are experts in conspiring. Okay. Well, nevertheless, let's take a look at this this peace deal, right? That is supposed to have been going down in Gaza. Let's take a look at this video. What are those words I'm supposed to use? Fair use, right? So let's take a look.
This morning, U.S. troops have arrived in Israel to monitor a fragile ceasefire in Gaza. Officials say the troops will help with logistics and coordinate planning and security in the region as work to implement the next phase of the peace agreement gets underway. Officials stressing the 200 troops will not go into Gaza, where more than 24 hours into the ceasefire, the guns are still silent. This is an indescribable day, Ali Rihan says. Today, the war has ended, God willing, and families displaced from their homes once again heading north, returning to what is left of their lives. But most of Gaza is in ruins. The UN says 92% of the buildings here have either been damaged or destroyed in the 2-year-long war.
Shabbat Shalom.
While in Israel, families of the 48 held hostage by Hamas anxiously wait to be reunited with their loved ones. 20 are believed to still be alive. Itzhak Horn's 2 sons were taken by Hamas. One has been returned, while the other is believed to be among the 20 living hostages. Horn telling our Ian panel that while he is happy, part of him remains unsure because, quote, I know who we are dealing with here. Officials signaling the release could happen at any time as the 72-hour deadline to release the hostages approaches. Israeli forces have partially withdrawn to the Yellow Line, making way for Hamas to begin the process of returning the hostages, both the living and the dead. Israel threatening to resume its heavy bombardment on the enclave if the hostages are not released by the deadline. President Trump now preparing to visit the region early next week, expected to meet with Israeli officials and later host a summit of world leaders in Egypt, marking the end of a vicious war that, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry, has claimed the lives of more than 67,000 people in Gaza.
And this ceasefire calls for the immediate surge of humanitarian aid into Gaza. As UN-backed experts say, more than 500,000 Palestinians are starving. Now, that's something Israel denies. And Janae, so much is unknown about the future of this truce. One key question is whether Hamas will agree to disarm. Janae.
All so incredibly fragile, Marcus. Thank you for that update.
Yeah, so, y'all see what they're saying. Oh, it's a ceasefire. Let me tell y'all something. I'll say it because I'm going to say it a little bit later, but I'll say what I was going to say, but they're already saying that this ceasefire is probably not going to last. Okay. They're already there. Why the Gaza ceasefire could collapse over coming days. Okay. So of course they said, Donald Trump is going there and he's shaking, Bibi Netanyahu's hand and everything over this ceasefire. Look, they done said that when it comes to the Jewish state, there's more war crimes committed than a little bit. Okay. It's a lot of war crimes. I've seen some of the footage that has taken place over there in that region, and it is just devastating. I'm not going to lie. It is absolutely devastating. But I'm looking at it from an eschatological standpoint, and I don't just try to look at it on the baseline, because for me, this is all a part of the strong delusion. I'm just being honest with y'all. It's a part of the strong delusion. So let's take a look at what they say here. In any negotiation, it's always the tricky final details that are the hardest to agree on. That has especially been the case in the long, dismal history of failed Middle East peace deals, where final status issues like where borders will be drawn and the location of a Palestinian capital in East Jerusalem have tripped up negotiators in the final stretch. And that's really the point that I was going to be making a little bit earlier, and I'll make it again. Yes, they noted it. Okay, this is a history of failed peace deals. But in this case, it's the reverse situation. Yes, there's an agreement for a ceasefire and the release of hostages and prisoners, but almost everything else appears to have been pushed out to be dealt with later. From the date of a full Israeli withdrawal to who will govern Gaza afterwards to an implausible pathway to Palestinian statehood. The last ceasefire between Israel and Hamas fell apart in March, when a second round of negotiations that were supposed to finalize a peace agreement never got underway. This deal is supposedly far more comprehensive. However, some elements directly contradict Israel's red line positions, all of which means there's any number of ways this could all fall over, perhaps within days. Like they said in the news, Hamas may not disarm. That's one thing that they're concerned about. They might decide that they're not going to. Next thing they say, Israeli forces to remain in Gaza. Netanyahu. Last year, Israeli repeatedly breached the ceasefire in Lebanon, launching airstrikes it said were aimed at stopping Hezbollah from reestablishing its military presence during the truce. Preventing similar breaches of the Gaza ceasefire deal will also mean relying heavily on Donald Trump's willingness to restrain Israel, something that for much of his presidency he has shown little interest in doing. And you see, this man right here, he's back on the scene, okay? Jared Kushner. Now, see, a lot of people, they be talking about the AC, and it could be Donald Trump, and it could be Palantir. It could also be this guy here, Jared Kushner. I'm just saying, we know there's a lot of stuff that when it comes to fulfilling that role, that a lot of them are already qualified to do. I'm just saying, okay? No consensus on Gaza Authority. Eventually, Israel will resume its security presence on the Gaza perimeter, as it has for 2 decades, and likely keeping control over who and what moves in and out of Gaza through the border crossings. That's been a major concern of the international community, especially when it comes to restricting the flow of aid and medical supplies. Would a return to the status quo on border crossings be acceptable? The plan stated Gaza to be governed by a temporary committee of Palestinians and international experts to deliver day-to-day public services, overseen by a board of peace chaired by Donald Trump until control has been handed over to a reformed Palestinian Authority. That's not going to happen, according to Bibi Netanyahu, and possibly also according to Hamas. Standing next to Donald Trump at the White House last month, Netanyahu effectively ruled out the Palestinian Authority having any role in Gaza. So do you see what I'm saying? They're already saying this thing is just, it is likely to not go anywhere. And we need to be mindful of that, because especially when we're talking about, you know, what's happening on an eschatological front, these are the things that we need to be concerned about. These are the things that we need to be mindful of when they're trying to push Bible prophecy in this direction. Okay. Now I want to show y'all something that they have several billboards up in that region right now. And I want to show you one of those billboards. And trust me, I'm going to tie it all in to this discussion about this whole surveillance thing, because it's very important. So if you got Christians in your life, Christians in your family, go to church, listen, y'all need to watch this. They need to watch this. All right. American flags fly beside a billboard with a photo of U.S. President Donald Trump. Do y'all see what it says here? It says Cyrus the Great is alive. Now there's a big point to this whole thing. And we need to talk about this tonight, because this is one of the biggest deceptions right here. It's slapped in people's face. Cyrus the Great is alive. American flags fly behind a billboard with a photo of U.S. President Donald Trump that reads Cyrus the Great is alive in honor of his success and ending the Israeli-Hamas war after 2 years on Saturday, October 11th. Well, they say October 11th. Some reports say October 10th in Jerusalem. Cyrus the Great freed, listen to this now. Listen to this. Cyrus the Great freed the Jewish captives in Babylon and allowed them to return to the promised land. President Trump will visit Israel on Monday to speak in the Israeli and the parliament and meet hostage families. Now, do me a favor. Put a 1 in the chat if Cyrus the Great freed Jewish anything in Babylon, or did he free Israelites? Which one? Put a 1 in the chat if he freed the Jewish people or if he freed the Israelites. Put a 2. You see, all this language is important. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. There was no Jewish people to free. Okay. I mean, no. This is a part of the propaganda. This is a huge part of the propaganda. I think Stacey meant to say too. This is a part of the propaganda. And just like I showed the other night, what the Jewish rabbi was saying was that when it comes to his people and their history, it starts over in Khazaria. Okay. It does not start in that quote unquote Middle East region. It does not start over there. It starts in Khazaria in Eastern Europe. So this propaganda that's being used is disgusting, but this is exactly the propaganda that is currently deceiving many Christians, black, white, and everything in between. So let's see how the Christian community is reacting to this whole Gaza situation, okay? This ceasefire. Let me pull up this video real quick so you can see how they're reacting to everything that is going on. Okay. Y'all give me a second. All right, here we go.
Silent, and for the first time in a long time, my friend, I have been hoping to be able to make this video for far too long. Tonight, peace has finally come to Gaza. The hostages taken on October 6th are being released, the guns are silent, and for the first time in a long time, the world can breathe. For months, people of every faith have prayed for this moment, including this community. Leaders stayed at the table when walking away would have been easier. And President Trump, yes, President Trump, religious leaders, and countless citizens played a huge role in turning hearts towards mercy. As Christians, we remember the words of Jesus. Blessed are the peacemakers. This is the time to live that truth, not with politics or pride, but with thanksgiving and humility. Late peace is still peace, and God rejoices when we lay down our weapons. And now let's also lay down hatred, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, and every other kind. Everyday people didn't start this war. Most of us just long for safety, for family, and life abundant for all. So tonight, give thanks and pray for continued peace in Gaza, in our homeland, and in our own hearts. Okay, and if you are interested in reading my longer reflection on this, it's in my Substack.
No, actually, I think we heard enough. I think we have heard enough. Sorry, y'all. I don't know that in the background. Okay. I think we have heard enough. We heard enough from him. I got another one from a sister who I want to share with y'all as well. I'm like, what was that in the background? Now remember, is this young lady I watched on YouTube. Give me a second. All right. I don't like the TikTok videos because the minute you try to put on the TikTok videos, they just come on. You can't even pause the thing so you can get them shared on the next screen, y'all. I don't care for that. Let me go ahead and do this now.
A lot of the details surrounding this peace agreement is very interesting to me. You have a rabbi that just came out and made a statement, and he talks about that everything that the principal is doing, it's all in the Torah. He goes on to say that in the next few days, in the next few weeks or so, you will have to choose what side of history you will be on. That sounds very much so like choose ye this day. That very much so sound like evil against righteousness. Now, he also was claiming that the principal is the Mashiach. I may say that wrong. Now, what they're asking of the principal is after the peace treaty is signed, they want him to go, and I guess he'll be going on Sunday. Out to Egypt, and they're saying that he is to make a historic visit also to the I country and will address the Knesset. I'm saying that totally wrong, butchering it, okay? I like that Kay was silent. Some things that are happening that is very interesting that we must pay attention to. In a letter to the principal, the hostages and missing families forum, they invited him to basically speak at the Hostages Square in Tel Aviv. Now, the statement that they made, they stated that we simply need the opportunity to look you in the eye and express what words alone cannot fully state, that you gave us back our families. Another key thing that they are signing this agreement in the Red Sea resort in Egypt. And I found that very, very significant. But even more than significant, details that I am explaining that is interesting is because a lot of these significant things that are taking place is taking place during the Feast of Tabernacles. And in fact, the day that the principal is supposed to go over to Egypt is, I believe, the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles, which is very significant. Now, I want to say this. We won't know who the man of lawlessness is, and we won't know technically unless it is publicized who confirmed it. It does seem as if they're asking the principal to come and confirm it after it is agreed upon. That's what it seems like. But we won't know until that temple is built and until he goes and he sits in the temple. These are interesting times, and this is not cause for the spirit of confusion. I can't for the life of me gather how there are a large group of Christians that are not seeing the events that are taking place. It's like they don't read the book of Revelation. They don't read a lot of the prophetic books, because if you read the prophetic books, you would be definitely privy to everything that is happening right now in the Middle East. Please understand, in the Middle East, the principal is a big deal. They really honor him. If you go and you really do your research, they honor him they really honor him up into a high place. In fact, the mere fact that they're saying that they simply want the opportunity to look in your eye and express words. So in the Middle East, to the Middle Eastern people, the principal is saving them. He is saving the Middle East. He is bringing peace. We have to correlate this to the word of God. The word of God says that he will bring a false peace, not just a false peace, but he will be liked. He will be someone that is liked. Remember, everything that the book of Revelation is speaking of, when we talk about end times, it is all revolving around the Middle East. There are even talks about him receiving a Nobel Peace Prize. So we have to see things as the Bible has interpreted what it will look like in the end times, with the deception, with the AC, the characteristics of the AC. We must discern in the spirit, reading the word of God. All of everything is matching up. It is coming together. There are even outside things with AI that is connecting and matching up with the times. So many other links, prophetic links, that coincide with this peace agreement. If this peace agreement is not a 7-year covenant, then this is not the peace agreement that we are looking at. Okay, that's another thing. We need to make sure that this is the 7-year peace agreement. That's how we will know if the AC is getting ready to announce himself, if the man of lawlessness is being exposed. But anyway, child, this is getting deep.
So, she had a lot of interesting things to say. And, I remember that I used to hold to a lot of her positions when I was deeply involved in Protestantism, right? And Christianity, evangelicalism. I was such an avid listener of Moody Radio. And Moody Radio, for those of you all are familiar with Moody, they're huge, huge proponents and supporters of the Jewish state. And so a lot of her rhetoric that she was expressing came out of that talking point, out of that mindset, which has really, captured the minds of most Christendom, Black, white, and everything in between. But this is the comment right here that really is the issue here. These folks aren't doing anything but leading the masses and blind Christians to the anti-Messiah by way of fake landmarks and misleading prophecies. And so this is really the bigger issue that we're dealing with. She says, everybody, what we need to understand is that all of the Bible is focused on what's happening in the Middle East. Okay, first off, that is completely inaccurate. All right. There is no such thing as a Middle East, and there's no such thing as a Middle West. Okay, that region of land is called Northeast Africa. Right. And because of the development of the man-made Suez Canal for the purpose of political posturing, that region became separated from the continent and now is treated more like a province out of Europe. And I literally had a white Christian tell me years ago that she went to Europe on vacation. And I said, oh, yeah, because see, I've been to Europe. I've been to the Netherlands. I've been to France. And so I'm looking to hear which European country she went to. And she says, I went to Israel. And I'm like, huh? Okay. She was dead serious, y'all. But this is, again, a part of the deception. And, you know, bless her dear heart, because I could tell that at least she really intentionally is trying to understand. But because blindness in part has come to Israel, right? Because Psalm 83 and the nations, like the ones that we're dealing with today, conspired to cut Israel off from the remembrance of herself. We still have Black Christians that have no clue that Israel as a time clock is not the Middle East, but is us. Yes, we're the time clock. On top of that, we know the scripture says that peace and safety is what they'll ask for, and then sudden destruction shall come upon them, right? Let's look that scripture up really quickly. If you've not already given this a thumbs up, go ahead and do so. Really appreciate that thumbs up. Make sure I'm in the right one, because I got a couple of 1 Thessalonians passages that we're going to be looking up today. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Okay. Now, brothers and sisters, about the times and dates, we do not need to write to you. For you know very well that the day of Adonai will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness so that they should surprise you like a thief. You are all children of the light and children of the day. We do not belong to the night or to the darkness. So then let us not be like the others who are asleep, but let us be awake and sober. Now what are we talking about right now? What y'all tell me real quick. Y'all just answer for me. Riddle me this. What is Black people finding out that they're the true Yasharel, the true Yahudim? What is that called today? What do we call that? I'm just asking. What do we call it? I want to see if anybody's catching it. It's the very thing that this administration has claimed a war on, by the way. Okay? Thank you. The awakening. I'm telling you. The awakening. What the Most High just say in this word? He said, stay woke. He said, somebody was, oh my goodness, you are eisegeting the scriptures. You are not properly exegeting them. I just hear it already. Listen, I'm just making a correlation. So let us not be like others who are asleep. Their eyes are blind. They don't see what's really going on. We need to be awake. We need to stay woke. All right, and be sober. For those who are asleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk at night. This, what are you talking about? Even drunkenness. When you look at it, it's talking about the inebriated state that the world is in. The world is in an inebriated state where it is not using its cognitive skills and abilities to where this man can get up there in his White House and say, there's a war on woke, and you got masses of people talking about, yeah, let's fight woke. The opposite of woke is sleep. Okay? So why are we fighting people being awakened to the nonsense that's going on around them, awakened to the truth of what's been hidden from them? So you should already see that that's a SNAKE sitting up in there. Let's continue. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, putting on faith and love as a breastplate and the hope of salvation as a helmet. For Alua did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through Yahushua HaMashiach, our Adonai. He died for us so that whether we are awake or asleep, and this version of asleep is talking about, when you're laying 6 feet under, not talking about just being physically asleep, we may live together with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. So they're saying, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction is going to come upon them, right? And another thing she mentioned was the temple, okay? The temple. We're gonna deal with that as well, okay? Because again, when you have an improper understanding of the scriptures because your eschatology is off, because the people of the book are all off, everything gets turned lopsided. Everything is turned lopsided. So let's take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 says something very clear about what the temple is. Because they keep talking about, oh, they're going to rebuild this third temple. They're going to rebuild this third temple. Okay, listen to this. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Ruach HaKodesh, who is in you, whom you have received from Eluah? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor Eluah with your bodies. Mashiach even said when he was questioned by the Pharisees, I will tear down this temple and I will rebuild it in 3 days. But see, they, just like the Christians today, were spiritually blind. So they start talking about what it took our fathers X amount of years to build this temple. What do you mean you're going to tear it down and you're going to build it back up in 3 days? That's impossible. They're looking for a physical temple. But the Most High don't dwell in temples made with hands. He don't dwell in temples made with human hands. The book of Acts. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm just saying. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Let's take a look at what that says. See, because a lot of people are being deceived. And listen, I didn't even get to my core message yet. I just have to, build the foundation real quick, so the people can understand how they're being deceived. This is just the first part of the deception. Oh, when I show you the second part of the deception, if you don't hear these words and know I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know what to tell you. So this is the verse that she was talking about. Let's read from verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, meaning the return of the Messiah, for all those pre-tribulation rapture folk who don't even know that harpazo is talking about being caught up in the lower air, not the upper air. Let's read from verse 2. That ye be not soon shaken in mind or troubled neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letters from us, as the day of Messiah is at hand. Saying, don't be troubled. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first. Can anybody say pre-trib rapture folk who sold all their property and now they homeless? And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. Okay, so the Most High, Yahusha, is not returning until the man of sin, the son of perdition, be revealed. Goes on to tell you a little bit more about him. He opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Eluah, or that is worshipped, so that he as Eluah sit in the temple of Eluah, showing himself that he is Eluah. What did we just read? What is the temple of Yah? 1 Corinthians chapter 6. What did 1 Corinthians chapter 6 that I just read said was the temple of the Most High? Was it a building made with human hands? I'm just saying. You see, we have to put things together contextually, line upon line, here a little, there a little, precept upon precept. Okay? We cannot allow the things that we see in the medium, telling us sorcery. We cannot allow those things to dictate our eschatology. We cannot. Yes, Queen Adaya, you are the temple. You are the temple. So the Antichrist, the son of perdition, he wants to make his habitation in the bodies of people. Our bodies are temples. And this we understand, it's not just if you're born again, if your body's a temple. Your body is a temple that it holds in your soul and your spirit. And so how is he doing that? How is he going to accomplish that? I just showed y'all just yesterday. I just showed y'all Sora AI. I just showed y'all how this AI advancements are taking over, and the goal in the of the AI, the whole purpose behind it, is transhumanization. It's transhumanism. This is about transhumanism. This is not about a physical temple. Y'all understand? This is not about no physical temple. That's how you get deceived into thinking that, oh, you got to wait until they put some brick and mortar together. And listen, Daniel had a vision of Nebuchadnezzar, and in that vision, at the bottom of the gold statue, his toes were made of iron and clay. Clay representing man, and the iron representing machine. We're talking about transhumanism here. You see, these people will have you believe that they got to gather themselves a red heifer, spotless red heifer, so they can rebuild the third temple. But let's see what Hebrews chapter 9 says. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctified to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Messiah, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to Elohim, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living Elohim? And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, aka New Covenant, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first covenant or testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance. This is why I told y'all it's a strong delusion. Let me tell you what really makes me sad. What really makes me sad is when I see good, well-meaning Christians ignoring the reality that the current occupying state is as sinful as it gets. I mean, they will ignore all of the wickedness, all of the atrocities. They will ignore every single thing that they're doing. And they'll say, well, they're going to be building a third temple. Let me tell you something. No one who was wicked was allowed to put hands on building any temple that belonged to the Most High. No one. But yet you got folk trying to convince you that they're going to rebuild a third temple. And when they do that, then Donald Trump is going to sit in the third temple. And then that's when the 7-year peace deal and peace treaty, that's when it's all. Look, let me explain to y'all when it comes to this third temple. It's a delusion. It's a mind game that Zionists play with ignorant Christians. It's a delusion. Like I said, I didn't even get in my first message. My main message, I'm just setting the foundation. I'm setting the foundation. The third temple, third house of the sanctum, refers to a hypothetical rebuilt temple in Jerusalem. Do I need to read any more? I will. I'll read a little bit more. The Hebrew Bible holds that Jewish prophets called for its construction prior to or tandem with the Messianic age. The building of the third temple also plays a major role in some interpretations of Christian eschatology. So they will overlook everything that these people are doing. Everything that they do. And this political state fitting a round peg into a square hole, but not walking in the discernment that the Most High has given his children, because they're too busy believing what the media and their sold out pastor, and their pastors are sold out, and you better be guaranteed on that, than what the Most High says. Here's another issue. They They swear up and down Donald Trump is going to be the one to rebuild. See, this is what y'all have to understand is the reason why they call Donald Trump King Cyrus. It's because King Cyrus ordered the rebuilding of the temple. That's why they call him King Cyrus. Let's take a look here. Trump vowed to build the third temple in Israel. This was back in April. Claim. The United States President Donald Trump vowed to build the third temple in Jerusalem. Fact. In the video, Rabbi David Katz, where have I heard that name before? For those of you who've been in this community for longer than 5 years, you've heard that name before. Nevertheless, I'm just going to put that to the side. In the video, Rabbi David Katz only expressed hope for the construction of the temple. He did not state that the Trump administration has vowed to build the third temple in Jerusalem or that it would definitely be built. Here's the deal. Moreover, there's no evidence to substantiate the claim that Trump has made such a promise. Trump never, ever, 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 ever agreed or even broached the subject. They don't even have one word, okay? Not even one word from Trump himself saying, I'm going to be rebuilding the temple. Now, y'all know Donald Trump be speaking out of pocket, not a turn all the time. So if he was going to be like Stephen Miller and have a gaffe, mess up and say something, we would have heard about it. But he didn't because he never said he would. But this is what Yahusha said concerning the temple. Matthew 24. And Yahusha went out and departed from the temple, the physical one. And his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahusha said unto them, see you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Do you hear that? You see, before I even continue reading, see, this is why people got to ask themselves this question. Why are they going back and forth doing the Shekinah in front of a wall that they call a wailing wall, putting prayers in it? Why are they doing that? Why do they not tell the truth that they know that that is a Roman construct called Fort Antonia and not a portion of the wall of the temple? Because the Messiah himself said, not one stone shall be upon another. I know this might not be appealing to hear this. He said, not one stone is going to be left upon another. Let's continue. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? And Yahusha answered and said to them, when's this happening? And what's the sign of your coming and the end of the world? First thing he said, to take heed that no man deceives you. He was just talking about the temple. The context was the temple. Now, what are these things going to happen? When is the deception going to happen? What's the sign of your coming? When's the end of the world? Don't be deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah. I am the principal, right? And shall deceive many. And you're going to hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled. See, I'm not troubled. I'm be honest with y'all. Let me tell you something. I got enough things in my life to trouble me and put me away permanently in a hospital. Okay? Enough stress. Enough stress. You got enough stress? Let me explain something to y'all about the Most High, though. He says that he gives us peace that surpasses all understanding. You see, we as the people of Yah, in spite of all of the circumstances that we're going through, in spite of everything that the enemy is lodging our way, in spite of all the fiery darts that hit us, man, we got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. Hey, y'all, let me tell you something. The Most High is the one that gives us peace that surpasses all understanding. Don't be troubled. Don't be trouble. You need to, I told y'all this before, learn, cast your cares upon him because he cares for you. I don't even know why we trying to hold on to these cares. We can't hold them anyway. We're not strong enough, big enough, powerful enough to hold on to the storms, to the cares anyway. We might as well go ahead and give it up to them. I'm just saying, for nation shall rise against nation, or ethnicity against ethnicity, and kingdom against kingdom, and there should be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, and those are the beginning of sorrows. Then they're going to deliver us up to be afflicted, and they're going to delete us, and we're going to be hated of all nations. For who? For his name's sake. And then many are going to be offended and are going to betray us and shall hate us. Many false prophets are going to rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. Did y'all hear him at any point? Say, and then the temple is going to be rebuilt. Did you hear him say that? I didn't hear him say nothing about no temple being rebuilt. Physical. He said all these things are going to happen. And then the end's going to come. And that's what we want to, that's what we want to be looking for. They're telling us it's a temple going to be rebuilt, the red heifer, and it's going to be the sprinkler. Now listen, I could definitely discuss this issue even more in depth when it comes to this third temple. I'm going to do that in a later date, okay? Because right now, I want to focus on the issue where the Christian deception is coming from. The surveillance tactics that are being used. Out of everything I just explained to y'all, understand this is coming from a specific place. It's being used to target Christians and their ideological beliefs to keep pushing out false doctrine concerning the end times and the Jewish state. I hope y'all ready for this. I hope y'all ready for this. And I know, unfortunately, we live in a world where people just can't hear the truth. But you shall know the truth is what the Most High said, and the truth shall set you free. So let's take a look at this video. If you have not already thumbed this video up, this live up, please go ahead and do so. All right.
Americans have finally united on an issue, and it is the lack of support for the modern state of Israel. So what does Israel do? Weaponize data tracking through a Christian LLC with the intention of manipulating Christians into supporting Israel. The San Diego firm Show Faith by Works LLC has registered under FARA as a foreign agent of Israel. They signed a $4.1 million contract with Israel for Christian church geofencing and targeted pro-Israel marketing to Christians through spyware. They call this the largest Christian geofencing campaign in U.S. history by tracking phones at college campuses, churches, political events, funerals, and more. The contract with Israel was signed just days before Charlie Kirk's memorial in Arizona, and Turning Point's Andrew Colvett said their tech partners tracked 277,000 phones in and around the stadium. These people were digitally tagged to track outreach just by physical boundaries. Show Faith by Works LLC is partnering with and paying pastors and influencers across the country who push pro-Israel and dispensationalist ideology. The company's objective is to combat low American evangelical Christian support for Israel and to link the Palestinian population with extremist factions. They will use biblical argument to highlight the importance of Israel and Jewish people to Christians. Show Faith by Works has also received over $300,000 from Havas Media, whose affiliate company is Bridge Partners LLC, the company that was paid $900,000 to employ influencers for the Israeli propaganda campaign. Main states targeted are California, Arizona, Texas, Nevada, Nevada, and Colorado. This is foreign propaganda delivered straight to your church and your cell phone. Almost every church on this list is dispensationalist and heavily influenced by the Scofield Bible. Israel is intentionally targeting churches with misconstrued eschatology to manipulate them and weaponize misinterpreted passages of scripture to have them endorse and support the modern state of Israel that has carried out countless massacres against innocent people, including Christians. And a Turning Point owned company named Superfeed Technologies that's created apps like Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, Early Vote Action, and the Western Journal. This company is registered as a foreign for-profit entity with jurisdiction under Israel, and many of its apps show data may be shared with third parties. Turning Point's Tyler Boyer is the CEO of the company, and Erica Kirk's mother, Lori Francevy, is also on the board. A company with the potential of giving your data to foreign countries. Maybe Charlie Kirk had a bigger reason for calling for an audit of all Turning Point's expenses before he was killed.
That's an interesting question. That's a very interesting question. Y'all see how far they're going? Your phone is is their weapon. Your phone is their weapon. Has your church been targeted by Israeli propaganda? Use this tool to find out. So I want to give a shout out to my brother, Prophet Kwame, because he is always hooking me up with some amazing information. And he shared this with me, which inspired this message tonight. Because this is just serious, y'all. I mean, look, let me tell you something. One thing that irritates me is how Christians think that I'm their enemy. They come on and they're like rolling their eyes and they're irritated and they're agitated because I'm saying the things I'm saying. Listen, I'm not the one that's your enemy. I know your story. It was my story. I know the way you think. I used to think like that. All praises to the Most High for the awakening, for opening up my eyes and the eyes of so many other brothers and sisters around the world to see the lies in real time. The question is, are you going to receive the truth, or are you going to continue to make excuses? Your churches are being targeted by Israeli propaganda. As this Nick Cleveland Styles reporting in Responsible Statecraft points out, public filings submitted under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, a law requiring agents of foreign powers to disclose their activities, reveal a huge and well-funded campaign by a U.S. company on behalf of the Israeli government. The operation is designed to shape the views of nearly 4 million Christians across the Western United States by targeting hundreds of churches. For this reason, I made a map and dashboard for you to see if your church has been targeted. If you want to check if your church has been targeted, you can use this map tool here. So this is the map here in the U.S. These are the churches right here that are targeted in Texas, California, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Arizona, New Mexico. Texas is huge. Louisiana is like right on the cusp. All of these areas are being targeted. And a lot of these are right-wing areas that are being targeted by the Israeli government to shape your understanding of the Bible. And you know, you really got to question that. That the same people that wrote in their Talmud that the Messiah is burning excrement in HE double hockey sticks, and that his mother, Mary, was a WHORE. These are the ones shaping your theology. These are the ones shaping your belief system. These are the ones who are trying to tell you how to think about end times. Now, see, I don't know if y'all been around a lot of them folk, but I have, okay? I have quite a bit. Used to work with them. And one of the things that I observed was the amount of atheism that was among them. I mean, some of them wore the little red Kabbalah string, and they would go to the Kabbalah Center. But when you ask them, as I have, what their belief systems were, they'd be honest with you. Oh, the majority of us, we're atheists. Yeah, no, we don't believe in anything, you know. Nah, we don't. And rich? Don't even get me started on the wealth. I'm just saying. This ain't what I heard. This is what I know. And a lot of y'all know that too. But those of you who are in the Christian church, you turn a blind eye to it. While your mama and your auntie and your cousin them living in the hood, living in the ghetto. By the way, did you know the ghetto was a place they kept Jews? Just wondering. Let's continue. This is a $3.2 million official operation funded by Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. $3.2 million. The fair filings state unambiguously that the foreign principle behind this campaign is the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The U.S. company registered to carry out the work is Show Faith by Works LLC, based in California. The financial scope is significant. Planning documents list a requested budget of $3,258,961 to target churches in California, Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona. The ambition, however, is even larger, with an ideal additional budget of $835,000 proposed to fund a second mobile exhibit and expand the campaign into Texas, Utah, and Wyoming. The operations international financial layering is also notable. The initial funds received, totaling $325 million, were paid not directly from Israel, but through Havas Media Germany, GmbH, a German firm, and Patrazon, German-based fund. Wow. I'll let y'all sit on that. Havas Media Germany have featured heavily in Israel's recent influence operations in the U.S. The plan includes what it calls the largest geofencing and Christian targeting campaign in U.S. history. A core component of the campaign is a surveillance strategy that aims to track and target individuals and their places of worship and education. The planning documents describe the tactics. Largest geofencing and targeted Christian digital campaign ever. Geofence the actual boundaries of every major church in California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado, in all Christian colleges during worship times. Track attendees and continue to target with ads. You see, many years ago when I attended Christian church, I had heard this little rumor that when you go in and, you know, especially if you go to a mega church, they ask you to, sign in. Put a 1 in the chat if you attended a mega church or any church that asked you to sign in when you came in to the service. You had to maybe put your name down, your address. And this was not just for newbies that were coming in. Okay, this is like every week. It was like a sign-in, like going to school. Okay, I'm not the only one. Okay, some of y'all not. Okay, but yes, there's this rumor that when you were signing in, that information was being used to inform the government of who was attending what church and when. That information was for tracking purposes. Now, see, this was back before smartphones were really a major thing. Okay. You said we had IDs. Wow. Okay. Wow. IDs, I think the ID thing that's a little wild. But I think that different ministries in our assembly had IDs. Members For sure. If that's what you're talking about, the membership, like when you went through the classes and then you became an official member, then they gave you a church member ID. Yeah, we had that too. Now that I think about it. Yep, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yep. Everybody had an ID. Yes. Okay. So those are far from what I understand. Little birdie told me that was for the purpose of tracking who was going to which church. Okay? And yes, Adrian, you're right. 501c3 requirements, most likely. It's not 5013C for people who keep saying it wrong. It's 501c3. Okay? Nevertheless, let's continue. This strategy focuses on densely populated Christian communities. By tracking mobile devices with the digital parameters of churches and schools, the campaign can identify individuals and serve them, listen now, persistent, targeted political messaging, effectively turning sanctuaries into targets. It is particularly alarming that a state is targeting the sanctity of faith communities with propaganda. The largest Christian church geofencing campaign in U.S. history. It will be used to distribute our messages, encourage Christians and pastors to reach out to us and follow our channels. That's church targeting. College campus focus. Target Christian churches on Sundays and Christian colleges on weekdays with targeted ads for those who will enter the regions. Ads will continue to track those who entered our target zones. Precision engagement. Precision location-based targeting ensures only our target market sees ads, maximizing the effectiveness of our outreach. Wow. This is something that they have worked really, really hard to push the lie. And that's why I hope y'all understand why I say this is part of the Great Delusion. You see, the messaging is not just pro-Israel, it's also anti-Palestinian state. This is why when the Israelis slaughter the Palestinian Christians, y'all don't say nothing. This is why you say Israel has the right to exist as state. Anytime somebody challenges y'all say Israel has the right to exist as a state. Mind mapping training. Amen. Get them thumbs up. Get them thumbs up. The campaign documents lay out a clear and aggressive dual messaging strategy aiming to both build support for Israel and simultaneously demonize Palestine and Palestinians. The pro-Israel messaging is designed to connect with Christian audiences on historical, religious, and political levels. Key themes include using biblical arguments to highlight the importance of Israel, educating Christians on the historical importance of Israel, highlighting democratic freedoms in Israel. The messaging designed to counter the Palestinian narrative is particularly alarming, and one has to wonder if it constitutes hate speech. Rather than focusing on policy debates, it seeks to invalidate the foundational narrative of Palestinian identity. The documents list several key talking points. There was never a state of Palestine at any time in history. Highlight that Palestinians and Iranian goals are not land-focused but genocidal. Hamas is financially dependent on Palestinian supporters. It cannot exist without the Palestinian people's support, shelter, and to recruit from. This disturbing campaign aims to frame Palestinian identity and political aspirations as inherently illegitimate and genocidal, a far more aggressive tactic than typical pro-Israel messaging. So this is the messaging right here. Hamas is a Palestinian terrorist organization. Palestinians elect Hamas as leadership. There was never a state of Palestine anytime in history. Highlight, I read all this to y'all. That's the messaging. Oh, and by the way, they don't stop there. No, why stop there when you could recruit America's idols to help you? Okay? The campaign has a wish list of A-list celebrity spokespeople and mega pastors. To amplify its message, the campaign's planning documents include a wish list of high-profile Christian figures to serve as celebrity spokespeople. The list reveals an ambition to recruit from the highest levels of entertainment, sports, and evangelical leadership, including Chris Pratt. Man, y'all remember him in Jurassic Park? He was in that movie, Tomorrow War too. Good actor. Pro-Israel propagandist. I'm telling y'all. John Voight. That's Angelina Jolie's daddy, right? Stephen Curry. Is that Steph Curry? The basketball player? Huh. Clayton Kershaw. Don't know who he is. Baseball player. Tim Tebow. Now let me tell you, I'm upset about Tim Tebow. I'm not necessarily surprised, but I'm a little upset. You see, because Tim Tebow just the other day called out white supremacy. Okay? He called out the white man with the white supremacy, and I was very happy to see that. See, because back when he was playing football, he used to wear John 3:16 under his eyes, and it was always coming against him because he did not want to lose his virginity before he got married. Okay? They was like targeting him. And when I was in the Christian church, that was a big deal for me to see Tim Tebow standing the way that he stood. So when I saw his name on his list, I was like, come on, Timmy. Really? They got you too. Wow. And these two, Pastor Rick Warren, who was that the Purpose-Filled Life or the Purpose-Driven Life? He's the one who developed the term, I think, Chrislam, right? Big, huge mega pastor. And Pastor Greg Laurie. Greg Laurie is one of the biggest Christian evangelical pastors in Calvary Chapel. Calvary Chapel. Okay? These are some big name people. These people, this is who they're targeting or who they've already gotten to be a part of their propaganda. How many people you think they're going to be able to stir up using these names? The strategic purpose of these influencers is explicit, to have them deliver pro-Israel messaging and, crucially, get us access to major churches and Christian colleges. They are viewed not just as megaphones, but as essential gate openers to the very communities the campaign seeks to influence. In God we trust. Disinformation. The FAR filings for Show Faith by Works are less like a PR plan and more like a PSYOP blueprint. Bankrolled by Israel's foreign ministry to the tune of $3.2 million, the campaign blends church-by-church geofencing, Hollywood-set propaganda, and a wish list of Christian celebrities into one sprawling influence machine. Its target? Nearly 4 million Christians across California, Arizona, Nevada, and Colorado. The playbook? Track worshipers' phones during Sunday service, then hit them with emotional 10-7 war content and wrap it all in Bible-friendly talking points about Israel's divine destiny. The likely anti-Palestinian hate speech is perhaps the most alarming dimension of this campaign. I disagree. I think it's all very alarming. Hate speech paid for by Israel, targeting U.S. churches. You see, we need to recognize what's really going on. We need to recognize how they're playing the whole world. And they're using, of all people, to play the whole world. Christians. And this is really sad. But you know, the saddest part about it is that there's going to be so many of these 4 million, white, black, and everything in between, that walk blindly into it. See, I only got 13,000 subscribers on my channel, which I'm very grateful for. And I'm grateful to be able to disseminate information. But if this live reaches maybe 3,000 to 5,000 eyes, That is a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of Christians who will never know any of this, who will never know any of this information. And for me, that's really sad, because I praise Yah that he opened up my eyes to see that Christianity was the religion of the tares. But so many people sit in these churches week after week, 3-4 times a week. I know that a lot of the churches are losing a lot of members, and rightly so. But there's a lot of people that hold on still. And they believe the rhetoric that is coming from the pulpit, and they have no idea that they're being targeted for continuous propaganda that is shaping their philosophical, ideological, and religious beliefs concerning the end times. This is likely one of the most important messages that I've put out to the Christian community. And I pray that they tune their ears in and hear it, because this is very serious and it's very dangerous. There will be a great falling away, and unfortunately, it's going to be many of them, because they're not prepared for the persecution. They don't understand how the great delusion is working. They're looking forward to a made-up phony temple by a phony people, and they don't even know that they're being deceived on this mass scale. You know, I pray that he would open up the eyes of understanding to so many of them. He did say that the wheat would grow up with the tare. He did say that the sheep would be among the goats. He did say that. I do believe that there are very well-meaning, born-again believers in churches. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everybody that goes to church isn't saved. That wouldn't be a fair assessment at all. But unfortunately, them, just like the goats and just like the tares, are going to be receiving the same messaging. Now, as far as the white supremacist evangelicals, hey, you don't even need the propaganda, because you already believe this nonsense. And you're hoping that this nonsense was really going to be the fairy tale that comes true in your life, but you're going to open up your eyes and find that it's really the nightmare that you wish that you didn't have to be a part of. Because you're stuck. You're stuck in lies. You're stuck in lies, and you love the lie. And I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow. How they love the lies. These lies are holding them captive, but they don't mind. As long as the liar looks like them, they're okay with it. IOG Church's Pastor Henry Bew teaches real truth with clear understanding of scriptures. It will behoove you to get some understanding of scriptures and stop guessing. Israel of God Churches. Shout out to oh my gosh, I can't remember. Pastor Johnson of IOG. I believe he's of Israel of God Churches. It will behoove you to actually do your homework instead of assuming I don't know anything. Okay? You don't know what I know. You don't know who I know. One thing about me is I know a lot of people, and I know a whole lot of information. But I don't have to boast in what I know and who I know. I boast in Yahuwah. It would behoove me to know the Ruach HaKodesh. Wouldn't it behoove me to know him for myself? Since he's the one that leads and guides me into all truth. You putting your focus and attention on man, that's your problem. I don't care what moray, morah, what assembly, Hebrew or otherwise, says, your first authority is the Most High. And we're commanded to be as Bereans to go and search the scriptures to make sure that anything that's being told to us is in alignment with his word. So I behoove you to be born again. Let's take a look. I'm getting ready to get out of here, but y'all, I'm just saying. Yes, sir. We are rejoicing. We're rejoicing because we praise Yah that he is not allowing us to be deceived in these last days. So happy Feast of Tabernacles to you. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Adrian, the sad part is many don't have a desire to hear the truth. Yeah, that's true. But for those that do, all right. Well, all praises to the Most High, Yah. Thank y'all so much for coming on tonight. Thank y'all for listening and liking. Thank y'all for continuing to uphold the work here and the work that Yahuwah is doing in all of his vessels. I'm going to give a special shout out to those of you who have given tonight. I appreciate you. Like I said, what I do here is a lot of work, but I praise y'all for those of you who financially support it. So I always want to give y'all a shout out. For those who gave on Cash App, I want to thank Clean Stomach. Thank you so much, Clean Stomach. I appreciate you. You're always giving. You're a blessing to this ministry. You're a blessing to my family. I truly, truly appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to my sis S. Dowdy, who gave via Zelle. Thank you, sis. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You just been a light in my life. I'm so glad that you and I got a chance to actually meet face to face, because now I have a face every time I say your name that I think about. So thank you very much for your gift. I also want to give thanks to Sister Emma, who also gifted. And thank you. I appreciate you. You continuously give to the work as well. I'm so grateful every single time y'all just, come in and just support me in the way that you do. It's a tremendous blessing. Shout out to Deborah Mangrum. Thank you so much for your gift. I really appreciate you as well. It's very kind of you. May Yahuwah extend kindness upon all of you who continue to give. May he also extend multiple blessings upon your households. I know things right now are tight for a lot of people, but I praise y'all for those of you who are stretching in your faith to give to us as we continue to do this work. It is a tremendous blessing. As I said on Thursdays, shout out to all my members. I'm working on it for my patrons, but y'all are going to get early access to my content on Thursdays. I'm putting out daily content, but I want to just show appreciation to those who give on a monthly basis as members. If you'd like to support this ministry every month and become a member, then I appreciate that. And that is my thank you. That's my way of saying thank you, is that early access on Thursday to my videos. So with that in mind, family, I'm going to go ahead and close out. I pray that y'all be blessed. Tomorrow is a holiday for us. No, I'm not talking about that genocidal maniac. It's VI Puerto Rico Friendship Day for us and for all my Afro-Latina and Latino brothers and sisters. I'm going to give y'all a shout out from Puerto Rico, and all praise to the Most High for you, because we are one people. So in any case, love you all. Remember, family, even in this time, to continue to keep your eyes lifted on the Most High, though the times be perilous. Remember that the joy of Yahuwah is your strength, that he gives peace that surpasses all understanding. Don't let anybody try to tear you down. We are all on a different part of this journey. And that's one of the reasons why I continue to look back towards my brothers and sisters who are maybe even at the beginning, who are just at the beginning of the awakening, or they're interested in learning more about the awakening. I don't ever believe that I have gotten to the point where I'm so learned and so studied that I can't talk to those who have the most basic of questions. I am still on this learning journey, just like many of you are. So all praises to the Most High for revealing truth as he deems fit for us to receive it. Family, love yourselves without hating your enemies. And as always, and until next time, y'all bless. and Salamah.